Hey, I'm Deanna, and this is my channel, Shade Tree Stables. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe button. That way you continue to see my free videos and giveaways. So over the years, through buying horses for myself and with clients and seeing what people have gone out and bought on their own, without any help, I have seen a lot of people make mistakes and have a lot of heartbreak over horses that they've purchased. This video could be like 4 hours long, but I thought I would just give you some quick tips on things to look for when you're going to purchase a horse, so that hopefully you end up with something that you really want that's going to work out well for what you have intended for it. First, always get a pre-purchase exam. It is always money well spent to have a professional take a look at that horse, and that way you know what you're getting into. Even if they do find something, at least you're aware of it. In this day and age, there is no reason why a seller cannot send you pictures and video of the horse. You want to see pictures and videos of that horse, ideally traveling straight away from you, straight towards you, and being ridden. And take a look at the background and the environment. That will tell you a lot about how this horse is cared for based on their surroundings. When talking with a seller, just be quiet and let them talk. Oftentimes they will tell you more than you would have even thought to ask. If you just let them talk and tell you about their horse, it takes more time, but you will get a really good idea of what you're going to get. The other thing that you need to discuss on the phone before you even go look at this horse is to let them know that you expect to see this horse ridden. If they give you some kind of story about, oh, I have a bad back, I don't ride anymore, they need to get someone there that will ride this horse for you. If they give you more excuses about that, then move on. I have been put on too many dangerous horses. I've heard too many horror stories from friends about dishonest sellers that knew the horse wasn't safe, they were hoping it would work out and the person would take it home. And if you want to see that horse ridden, if you expect to be able to ride that horse, then you need to be able to see that horse ridden before you ever get on it. And even if they're not being dishonest, sometimes your idea of a trained horse and their idea of a trained horse is different. And anytime I go to sell a horse for somebody, I always say, I'm going to ride this horse first. I'm going to show you everything it does. If you have any questions or something you want to see, then you let me know, because I don't know how well those people ride, and you don't know how well trained their horse is. So always see somebody ride that horse before you get on it. When looking at a horse, look for symmetry. Look at that horse straight on. Look how it holds its head. Is its head on straight? Is it crooked? Is the muscling on each side of the jaw equal? Are the nostrils equal, or is one pulled back a little bit further? Are the ears level? Those are all things that can tell you if this horse is having some kind of problem, if maybe they've pulled back and they've got an issue with their neck or their jaw or their way of chewing. You want to look at symmetry throughout the body. So when you see that horse standing square, does it hold one leg kind of crooked? Does it always cock one leg in particular every time it's resting? Look at it from behind. Do the hips look level, or is one dropped? When you watch the horse track towards you, are the limbs tracking straight? When the horse is tracking away from you, are they straight, or are they kind of swinging their limbs? If they're swinging their limbs, that's a good indicator that there's some kind of pain, that they're avoiding flexion and they're trying to swing that limb to avoid flexing it. When you watch from the side, you can watch as the fetlocks drop down. The right and left fetlock should be dropping down equally. And look for symmetrical muscling. If you notice that one side is more muscled than the other, it can be just handedness and which way the horse is more comfortable going, but oftentimes indicates that the horse is compensating for something. And I'm going to insert some video here of one of my horses that had an injury years ago, and you can see on the muscling how she compensates for that injury. And luckily she just carries very small children around and does very light work. But if that's something that you're expecting a horse to do, jumping or cutting or something a little bit more physically demanding, you're not going to be able to get away with a horse that has an injury like that. Take body condition into consideration. A horse that's underweight that just needs a little bit of feed because he was low on the pecking order, once you start feeding a horse like that, that seems so gentle and so calm that your little kid could ride them, suddenly you get some feed into them and they start feeling better and they're no longer the same horse. You want to buy a horse that's already in good body condition. You also want to ask for veterinary records of that horse, what kind of procedures it's had done, dental records, vaccination records. The vaccination records you're definitely going to need if you're going to board it somewhere. And if any of these things haven't been done for a while, that's something you should negotiate into the purchase price. Once you are content that this is the horse that you want, you still need to have a pre-purchase exam done. It is so important. The vet is going to do a more thorough evaluation of that horse, and they may uncover other things. So maybe the vet says that you need to have hock injections on this horse. If you decide that's something you're willing to take on and that you still want this horse, at least you know what you're getting into, and again, you can negotiate that into the purchase price. Sometimes people are dishonest, and sometimes they just aren't aware of the issues that their horses have. The last thing you want to do is spend a bunch of money on a horse and then later realize that it has all these maintenance issues that you weren't anticipating, or some kind of physical issue that isn't going to work with what you want to do with this horse. Do your research, have a pre-purchase exam done, and if you can think of any other things, I know there's a bunch of things that could be added to this list, leave it in the comments below, because the more knowledge people have, the less likely they are to be disappointed in buying a horse that's not going to suit their needs. I'm Deanna. Thanks for watching. Do me a favor and hit the subscribe button.